Yo guys, what is up? My name is Pixel Knight and welcome back to another episode of the Village of Farfield. Five months ago, I transformed the standard default landscape into this beautiful, awesome landscape with a huge cliff and lots of flat land. In today's episode, I want to make the mighty castle of Farfield, complete with a throne room, a food hall, and a grand library. Along with the village, I also want to make a dockyard, some farms, and a secluded high-end community. The first step I took to making this castle was to make a general shape and an outline of what I wanted the castle to look like. So after the general outline was completed, I decided to make it look as if the castle was embedded inside the landscape, so it did not just appear to be sitting on top. So I went ahead and blended it into the landscape, making it look like the chunks of the castle have fallen over time. After the general landscape and outline of the castle was completed, next it was time to move on to the structure of the castle, starting with the spires. I made the two smaller spires as well as the center roof. After making those, I moved on to the two massive frontal spires, which protrude from the castle's center. The next step was to make the upper body of the castle, starting with the roof. The design was similar to the smaller roof below it, but with matching towers coming out of the top. After building this, I decided to go with a blue and red themed castle, as it was a good contrast and I never really worked with those colors before. Moving to the east end of the castle, I thought that the large tower would be suitable as a chamber for the king, where he lived and could survey his kingdom. Being isolated from the general castle, he had some privacy and a better view. On the opposite side, the west side of the castle, I made a single standing tower into the wizard tower, where the mages could perform the shenanigans and magic in private. Now that the general shape of the castle was completed, I decided to go towards the kingdom to build the actual village. This was completely different from the massive castle, as this was smaller and more detailed structures instead of one massive building. Starting from the docks, I went ahead to start building the village. After building the base of the sea village, I started to create the modern and richer side of the village. I started by building this big home that has a wonderful view of a cliff. After the first house was built, I had to keep building the rest of the community, pouring in all the detail and decorating I could possibly do. After building this highly detailed, rich community, I hopped over to the other side of the wall to build some smaller farms. After building all of these highly detailed big structures, I discovered a data pack that allows me to use armor stands to decorate my world. There's an ice mage freezing an assassin trying to kill the king, encasing him in ice, and a fire mage with lava hands blasting another assassin with fire magic. Going away from the fighting and magic, I also need these highly detailed food hall tables as well as a fully functioning villager kitchen with armor stands. Afterwards, I went back to add a little bit more detail to the castle, including building the interior, the food hall, and the library, and all the detailing armor stands have been completed. I am proud to present you the Village of Farfield. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a like. You don't have to subscribe, but if you do, it would mean the world to me. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next episode.